I'm going to call the December 17th, 2018 meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you here with us this evening. Our invocation will be given by Commissioner Charles Evans, and he will introduce the person who's doing the pledge.
And thank you, Madam Chair. Before we get started with the invocation, I would like to introduce to you someone who is very near and dear to me, my niece, Callie Evans. She's 8 years old, attends Cumberland Mills Elementary School. She loves to sing and dance. She wants to be in the military one day like her father, when she grows up, that is. She's here with her parents, Master Sergeant William O. Evans II, and her mother, Miss Candace Evans. And her mother, Candace Evans, and her grandfather, Mr. Michael Johnson, her grandmother, Febra Miles, her baby sister, Sarah, and her cousin, Jacayla Simmons. And I'm so glad that they're here with me. Please stand for the invocation. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for another day here, Lord. We appreciate everything that you have done and that you do for us on a daily basis, Lord. We give you all honor and praises, and we ask that you bless the citizens of Cumberland County, those that are here in this meeting tonight that's representing each family, Lord. And please continue to lead us and guide us in thy name, we pray. Amen. Amen. Callie.
Please stand as we will now recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry. Come stand right up here.
And if the parents and sisters and everybody join.
Keep walking with the paper. I'll give it back to you. He's got extras.
With your phone first in case it locks out. 1, 2, 3. Joe. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Let me get one with this camera.
Oh, that was a widescreen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are pleased also to have with us Anaya Drake from the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council. Would you come to the microphone, please?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Anaya Drake. I'm a senior at Cross Creek Early College High School. I'm in 12th grade. After I graduate high school, I plan to go to North Carolina A&T State University and major in economics. And we're here to tell you, Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council, that we thank you so much for inviting us to your inauguration the other week. It was a great experience for everybody that went, and we hope you guys have a happy holiday.
Thank you. Come stand in front of us, please. One more picture.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll call on you at the end of the program. I should have come around to shake hands. I forgot to do that. Okay. And now I'm going to call on Mrs. Lisa Childers to come forward as we recognize our 2018 Agricultural Hall of Fame inductee and the Young Farmer of the Year and the retired employee.
So we have several things.
Yeah,
Good evening, and thank you for having us this evening. As you know, every year we induct a farmer into the Agricultural Hall of Fame, and this year we were pleased to be able to induct Tony Simpson. He was our 2018 inductee, and unfortunately we lost a true champion when Tony passed away in 2015 at the young age of 49. His family is here tonight to accept this honor, and we'll call them up here shortly. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Tony and why he was selected. He was born into a farm family. Tony is the son of Maud, who is here tonight, and the late Bernice Simpson, and the brother of Jeff Simpson. Tony and Jeff were not only brothers, but they were also lifelong partners in their tobacco farming operation. The two men followed in their father's footsteps, and they expanded their tobacco farming operation, which was known to be one of the largest tobacco producing farms in our county. The Simpson family, you may be familiar with Beaver Dam Seafood. They ran that company or that restaurant for over 30 years. And although Tony tried his hand at the seafood business, that was just no match for his love for farming. Tony was instrumental in expanding the family farm, and he was well known for his tobacco curing. He was also named the Outstanding Young Farmer. He got that recognition in 2006. And he also worked very closely with Cooperative Extension and NC State University. He worked with us in doing lots of trials on his farm and assisting and trying to trying to identify some varieties that would be of a higher resistance to wilt diseases in tobacco. So that was something that we were able to work really closely with him on. Tony loved his family, his friends. He was an avid hunter. Not only did he love to hunt in his community, he also loved to go on hunting excursions with his niece Haley, who's here tonight. Wherever her uncle Tony was, she was right there beside him. Although Tony's life was cut short, his legacy of faith and family and farming is going to be remembered in the Beaver Dam community and beyond. So with that, I'd like to recognize the Simpson family. If they'll please come forward.
two, three. Okay, one more. Okay, got it.
Thank you to everyone who made this award possible. It means a lot to our family, and I know it would have meant a lot to Tony, so thank you very much.
Our next recognition is the 2018 Young Farmer of the Year, Justin Freeman. Justin is proud of the fact that he's a first-generation farmer in the Stedman community. He first began farming in 2005 by growing a few acres of deer corn, sweet corn, and watermelons. This initial endeavor for extra income has grown into a farming operation that consists of 650 acres of crops to include corn, wheat, soybeans, and watermelons. In partnership with his dad, Richard, Justin farms in Cumberland and Sampson counties. He also does some custom harvesting within the community. Not only is Justin heavily involved in the farming operation, he has worked full-time for the City of Fayetteville Fire Department since 2009. He's a 2002 graduate of Cape Fear High School, and he was a member of his school's FFA chapter. Justin attributes much of his success in the farming community to his father, Richard, Ray and Collins Bullard, and Dwayne and Justin Smith. They have been a valuable resource providing him farming advice, and he is very excited to have them help him throughout his farming endeavors. So with that, we would like to have Justin come forward. Justin, on behalf of the Cumberland County Commissioners, I'd like to recognize you for being selected as the Outstanding Young Farmer. So with that, if you'll go around and take One other item that I wanted to share with you today, Cheryl Jernigan is the Farm Bureau president in Cumberland County. He regrets that he could not be here, but he wanted me to take a moment. He submitted a letter this morning and wanted me to read this to you and thank you all, our Board of Commissioners. And so I'll read this from Cheryl Jernigan to the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. On behalf of the agricultural community and the Cumberland County Farm Bureau Board of Directors, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners for supporting the agricultural support resolution presented by Commissioner Larry Lancaster during the Farm City Luncheon. The resolution embodied all that makes agriculture a major contributor to our local economy and the #1 industry in our state. We are fortunate to have leaders in our community that support the industry our rural communities so greatly depend upon. Although today's agricultural industry faces many challenges, it is reassuring for our farmers and producers to know that they have your support as they endeavor to continue the strong tradition of Cumberland County agriculture in our county. Thank you for your leadership of the Agricultural Support Resolution and for your continued support of Cumberland County agriculture, from Cheryl Jernigan. Shall I continue on? Yes. Okay. Miss Jessie, if you'll come up. So Cumberland County, the Cumberland County Agriculture Center, we have a great team there, and Miss Jessie's one of those. And she came in our office and decided that she was ready to retire. After how many years? 21 years. She told me 21 years. She's reminded me that. So Miss Jessie retired on December 1st, 2018. She said she's really enjoying it. After faithfully serving Cumberland County Cooperative Extension and the citizens of Cumberland County for over 21 years. Everyone that visited our agriculture center could always be greeted with that warm smile like you're giving me right now. They always looked to see where she was, and she would always smile at them, and people would always ask, "Where's Miss Jessie?" So we've had to, everybody wonders, well, how's she doing in her retirement? So we want you to continue to visit with us. And Jessie was a valuable employee, coworker, and friend to all. We wish her the very best and hope that she will enjoy her well-deserved retirement. Thank you. So on behalf of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, we want to congratulate you again officially for your retirement.
Okay.
If you want to go around and,
Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we will go into the public comment period. Do we have speakers, Madam Clerk?
We do. May the county manager read the public?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, the public comment period is an opportunity for citizens to share information with the Board of Commissioners. The public comment period shall last no longer than 15 minutes. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes. As the speakers come forward, please state your name and your address as you approach the lectern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our first speaker this evening is Mr.
How many speakers are there?
I'm sorry, we have a total of 3 speakers.
Okay.
Our first speaker is Mr. Patrick Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell?
2 speakers.
All right.
Our second speaker is Mr. Thomas Bass.
My name is Thomas Bass. My address is 1015 Sandalwood Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28304. Want to thank y'all commissioners for coming out this evening. I'm here representing the Vision Resource Center, also known as VRC. So if I could ask them to stand for a moment, all those people who came out to support. Vision Resource Center serves vision impaired and blind people of Cumberland County. I'm thanking the commissioners in advance for giving us the opportunity and a chance to obtain the property on Cedar Creek Road. That way we can be the first, so that we can be the first county to have a Vision Resource Center out of 100 counties in North Carolina. Fayetteville is the only county that has an active social community calendar that involves vision impaired blind people for being active in community. Not Orange County, not Mecklenburg County, not Wake County. So this will be a magnitude to this county if y'all give us the opportunity to let us explore and have our vision so that we can put Fayetteville on the map. Since Cumberland County is already known as one of the All-American city, so we can add an extra light to that if you give us this opportunity to let us utilize y'all property so that we can expand our services and reach out to all learning institutions in Cumberland County, Pembroke, Fayetteville Tech, Campbell, just to name a few, so they can come to our place and do their service learning training internship. And so this center could be for the people of all of Cumberland County so that they can learn and more about vision impaired and blind folks. So please give us this opportunity to let us show that we still have a vision and that we can still dream. And keep in mind that all the little children that's coming up, give them the opportunity to let them be all that they can be. With this center, it can reach out to all who may have a vision impaired problem, because people go vision impaired and blind every day. So please give it this opportunity to let this go globally and go beyond. Since Cumberland County is on its way to being productive, so we can be on the map again by having the largest vision resource center in all 100 counties of North Carolina. And also like to count on y'all support when we take our challenge to the City Council to bring transit to Cedar Creek Road so that we can have transportation. And thank you for your time. Love is blind.
Our final speaker is Mr. Douglas Modi.
I'm Douglas Modi, lives at 5886 Columbine Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28306. My concern is it goes with federal and state, but also the county commissioners might be get in contact with those people. The train trestle on the Cape Fear River, when it floods, it has a log jam, and we don't get rid of the log jam. We don't dynamite the log jam. We don't bring in a crane to undo the log jam. And the log jam eventually goes downstream, and it went to Bladen County last time, and they got a contract for so many millions of dollars to clean up that log jam. But that money could have came to Cumberland County if we would have got a crane out there and picked it up. Then I also have the Cape Fear River, the Cross Creek River, and the Little River. We need to get with the Army Corps of Engineers, and I think we need to deepen, maybe 1 or 2 stories deep, those rivers so they won't flood over. Now we can go to other states. We can go to Kentucky. We can go to Austin, Texas. We can go to San Antonio. You look at their canal system, and they're that deep. So if we do that here, maybe we can stop our flooding. Then on the Cape Fear River itself, it will be stagnant in 15 years or less. That report came from PwC. They won't say that it's stagnant, but we're already having orange blooms down in Brunswick County last year. Now it'll be here in 15 years. We need to come up with a new water supply system. We only have like 2 or 3 days off the Cross Creek River, and we only get 27 days off of the Cape Fear. So we need a lake, another Lake Jordan. Fallout shelter on 301. I think we should make it at the Coliseum. I think we should clean it up and have it accessible, because Homeland Security said that we have a threat of being attacked. We need to have that accessible by the state police with a key, so if we do get attacked, they can open it up and have access for people to get into it. Maybe we got 15 minutes. Okay, get DMV and maybe the people over there at the Waffle House to come on in. But at least somebody will be safe. And then also, on the 2030 plan, Eastover and Southwest Cumberland County, they put in shelters. I like those shelters to be built before 2030, because I think we've had a lot of hurricanes coming our way. Okay, And I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. All right. This ends the public comment period. I'm going to call on the county manager to see if there are any changes to the agenda.
There are no changes.
Motion for approval. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the agenda be approved. It's written. All those in favor, please.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I'll move that the...
Light.
We have two.
I guess that's Keith, not Fairclough.
That's who?
That's Keith.
That's Jimmy. Okay.
We still have the old,
Mr. Faircloth.
that's not me. Yeah.
Just me. Ready? Madam Chair?
Which one was first? I don't know.
It's okay.
Jimmy was first.
Madam Chair, I'd like to remove item 2H4.
2H. Four. Mr. Booz?
2H5.
And 2H5 have been removed. May I have a, are there any other items to be removed from the consent agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda without those two items, Madam Chairman.
Second.
All right. There is a motion that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of these two items. Those in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Mr. Keefe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I pulled this item. This was the item of the transfer of property of the J.P. Riddle Stadium to the Federal Technical Community College. And the reason I pulled this is a public entertainment facility that was given as a gift almost 30 years ago by the Riddle family to the citizens of Cumberland County. And this facility is not only used by the Swamp Dogs, it is also used by other organizations in town. And this was a very rapid pace that this all came together. So I believe that a number of these organizations, and in fact, some of the citizens may like to speak on this. So I would like to have a public hearing reference the transfer of this property so the citizens and other organizations that might be affected would have an opportunity to address the commissioners on how this would affect them, because we haven't really delved deep into how it would. And as much as I appreciate the generosity of the Riddle family, as they did this, they did it to, at that time, bringing baseball into Cumberland County, but it has proved to be a much more valuable asset in a number of different ways. And I know we're in the holiday season of Christmas trees and nutcrackers and presents and all the other things that come up, but regifting is just not appropriate. And this was a gift, and now we're taking that gift and regifting it to someone else. So at that, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we schedule a public hearing for the transfer of this property.
Second.
Let me clarify something with the manager or the attorney. This is a change in procedure.
It's not something that I think the board has done before, but if the board votes to hold a public hearing on a specific property, it would be appropriate under your rules.
All right.
Madam Chair, and I would say I was one of the ones that was in favor of this transfer. I think that the community college is definitely an asset to this community, and I don't think anybody's looking to take the name of the riddle off the stadium or be disrespectful for them. I think it's able to be enhanced and used for this community. I don't think a public hearing is required. I would not be in favor of a public hearing, and I think we ought to go through with the request for the transfer.
This is you again. You all got to help me. Mr. Booth?
Thank you, ma'am. I'm in favor with the concept of it. I have no problem, especially getting more and more public use out of county-owned and county-restricted facilities. The sooner we get them back basically used, it's better all the way around. But I'm not so sure about, I know there's at least one other school that uses it as their athletic field. So what's going to happen to them? And I think that doesn't Swamp Dogs sell beer? Is that going to be now allowed at, college games? I'm just wondering. There's a few things that probably ought to be addressed before we just,
Our lease with the Swamp Dogs doesn't address whether or not they sell beer and that sort of stuff, nor the only legal condition that would have to be placed on this is that there's a requirement for us to transfer this sort of property to the community college, that if it ceased being used for college purpose, that it would revert back to the county. That's the only restriction that we are.
Was there any reversionary clause in the original gift for the Riddles?
Frankly, I have not searched the title on this. This thing came up. I missed this meeting, and it's not been that long ago.
Mr. Evans?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question is, since the conversation is up, and being that it was a gift to the county by the Riddle family, is there fear that the name Riddle will not remain on it if it goes to the favorable take? I'm just curious to know.
Not for me.
Okay.
Not for me.
Well, all right. Are there other questions on the motion? I'm going to call for a vote. Those in favor of the calling for a public hearing, please raise your hand.
Voting in favor, Commissioners Keefe and Booth. Voting in opposition, Commissioners Lancaster, Fairclough, Chair Council, Commissioners Adams and Evans.
All right.
Madam Chairman, I would make a motion to request to transfer the J.P. Riddle Stadium and associated property to Fayetteville Technical Community College.
Second.
Oh. All right, you've heard the motion. Are there additional comments?
Madam Chairman, lights on.
Mr. Keefe, I'm having trouble with this.
It's okay.
So my learning curve hopefully will get better.
It's okay.
Okay, and also I'm having trouble with your name being Fairclough. Okay. Mr. Keefe, I'm sorry.
I have a lot of problems.
You all help me through this.
Before we make this motion and move forward, I think it would be appropriate to research the title, and during the committee the committee meeting, Mr. Adams specifically mentioned that there would be a reversionary clause in there if it were not used for baseball, not for college, as Mr. Moorfield just said, but for baseball. Is that part of your motion?
That's correct.
No, that's Lancaster.
Who is that? All right, are there other comments? Mr. Keefe, I turn you off. Who is this? I don't know.
Lancaster right there.
If you'll give me a minute, I'd appreciate it.
The labels on the lights have not been changed, so that is creating some confusion. We've all switched seats since the last meeting.
Our seats have been switched, and this is my first official meeting as chair, so just go with me, please.
Hold on, this is me.
That's you. Okay. This is Fairclough. Who is this?
That's me.
That's
It just took me off. That's all.
It took you off. Okay. All right.
You just
Thank
saw
you
him.
so much. If I could sing, I would have had a Christmas carol doing that, but I can't sing. There is a motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion to transfer this property, please raise your hands.
Voting in favor, Commissioners Lancaster, Faircloth, Chair Council, Commissioners Adams and Evans. Voting in opposition, Commissioners Keefe and Booth.
All right, the motion passes. Item 5, Mr. Booth.
Yeah, and again, this is not something that I'm opposed to, but I think we're not doing it properly, and I don't think we're doing enough. Just as Mr. Bass brought up, and I wrote down his address at Sandalwood Drive, he's going to have to figure out some way to get from Sandalwood out to the middle of the boondocks, out in God's country, you know, over the, you know. Are we really helping out by putting that impediment there? We have property all over the place. We have property that the county owns in the city where there is already transportation available. So I'm all for, you know, getting y'all squared away in a center, but I don't know that, you know, sending you out in the boonies is going to be very beneficial for y'all to try to figure out a way to get out there. So I'd rather do a resolution that we're going to find them some property, find some by the next meeting, and give them something they can all get to very quickly, very safely, and very easily. Okay. So I'm not opposed to the center. It's just that, you know, you'd shave and reshave once you get out there.
Okay, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Adams, and then I'm going to recognize Commissioner Council.
I think Mr. Keefe was before me.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Your light is on.
Keith, is your light on again?
My light is, I know it's been on so many times, it just seems like
He
it's
was before
on
me,
all
man.
the time, but.
He was before me.
I'm sorry.
That's quite all right.
Silent night in
Commissioner,
order.
Mr. Adams, would you like to?
Mr. Keefe.
Well, I brought up at the committee meeting some of the same meetings I had there. I think Ms. Thomas does a wonderful job with the Vision Resource Center. And she handles it with a lot of grace and professionalism. But one of the things that I brought up there was just because we have a location doesn't mean it's the right location. And right now they are in a temporary area, and they should have their own place, but it should be centrally located. If there is an individual who lives out in the Spring Lake community trying to get all the way out to the Cedar Creek with no bus line or even arranging transportation at a high level, is just not only logistically smart, it's not compassionate to the citizens you're trying to serve. I would make a motion, or I would make a recommendation that we actively look for a place that suits them to be able to do the household items that they need for training, more centrally located. But over and above that, one of the things that was brought up, and nobody's even talked about this again, is there is a serious issue at our state law about the ability for young people to get blind services. And I think that as we move forward with our legislative delegation, maybe that's something that we should look in to bring to our legislative delegation on helping with some of the young people that need this care and funding some of that at a state level. So to the Vision Resource Center, I think you deserve better than a place that's 22 miles outside of downtown. I think you need a place more centrally located. And I'm going to work to you that maybe we can get something like that in the future. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Adams?
Madam Chair, and you know, I agree with Mr. Keefe and Mr. Booth. And I hope they continue to look for that. But the problem they have is, if you read the supporting materials, is that in order to get this grant that you got to have, we've got to have this building and it needs to move forward. That does not preclude either one or anybody in this community from finding another place, building them another place. I think they would be receptive to that. They just move from this location to the next. But in line of trying to meet the deadline put forth by this agency who's going to help fund them, it needs to move forward. And I think it needs to move forward tonight. And I will support you if you find something much better in the city. I think that even at the committee, we were aware of the location. I think that Ms. Thomas and the manager. We're trying to work with the city of Fayetteville. If you know where the industrial park is, it has been taken into the city. The bus comes, I think, right down by the hotels. It's just a matter of going across there to be able to get there. I think that if you're talking about getting from Spring Lake, there's no transportation from Spring Lake now to where they are. They have to find a way to get there. And I think that the Resource Center has provided that with vans. I would tell everybody who's listening that this is a valuable resource to this community. I think you're right, Mr. Keith. When we found out that from 0 to 14, there are no services, that's a travesty. I think the state of North Carolina ought to be ashamed. However, I do think that for this evening, this needs to move forward so that they can move forward and get the assistance that this organization is willing to provide for them.
Okay, thank you. I recognize Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know what? I'm with you all on that on another place, but as Glenn has stated, Commissioner Adams has stated, there's a reason that individuals have to be in a place by a particular time in order to get the funding that they want. As far as the transportation is concerned, we heard tonight that there's going to be some work with the city of Fayetteville and hopefully having transit to go further out to the destination that they're trying to get to. But we also know that Terry Thomas have been a fabulous director there, and wherever these individuals needed to be, she got them there. She got them from point A to point B without any problems. And I think that, you know, I agree. We as a county should do more to help individuals, because we are a Health and Human Services Board. So now since we're talking about trying to find another location, but we still going to, I know I'm going to vote for them to have this location, but in talking about finding another location, I would like to see where we would make a motion and send it to the Finance Committee, if we still have the Finance Committee, and put funds away to build a brand new center for them. Since we're so concerned now, and the CIP budget. And CIP budget. Okay. But I would like to see that done. And I'm not trying to make light of the situation, everything, but we have individuals in this county that really need our attention to a number of issues, especially when it comes to health and human services issues here. So I would like to see them receive this facility. I know there will not be a problem for them getting from point A to point B, because they got a fabulous team out there. And I also would like to see us talk about putting some money aside to help build a top-notch facility for the blind, for the training, for young people to come out and learn what they need to learn. I would like to see us do that. We're a county on the move, at least we're supposed to be. And so let's make that one of the directions that we take. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry for taking so long.
All right, I have yielded my time to you, Mr. Evans, so you didn't take too much time.
Thank you, ma'am.
You've heard all the comments, and you know the motion, which is the lease of vacant county property to the Vision Resource Center.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to lease the vacant county property to the Vision Resource Center.
And I will second that motion. Those in favor of the motion, is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, those in favor, please raise your hand.
Voting in favor, it is unanimous.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you who have come out tonight to support the various matters.
Item number 3, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Is our public hearings. And we first will start with our uncontested rezoning case. Our first case is case P18-42. Ms. Patty Spiker will present this case. Thank you.
Case P1842 is a rezoning of 2.03 acres from A1 to R40. It's located off of Chickenfoot Road, owned by Vanderbilt Homes of North Carolina. The Joint Planning Board unanimously recommended approval, finding the request consistent with the land use plan, reasonable in the public interest for the reasons given in your packet. Thank you. And I do not believe we have any speakers this evening.
Are there speakers?
There are no speakers.
All right. I need to first open the public hearing.
There are no speakers.
Now close the public hearing. All right, are there questions? Who is this?
That's me.
That's you. Mr.
Yes,
Adams?
I do have one question. It's not necessarily to the planning board, but to the manager. Because I looked at this, and can you tell me how that goes in line with, and the planning board may not have known that when they did this. It's both of these that are on here for rezoning, which is in the Grays Creek area, where we just, under the consent agenda, moving on to our next step in the preliminary engineering for Grays Creek Water and the Sewer District. How does this fit in with that in terms of, I know this where this one is by this, and the other one's on the corner of 87 and right by Grays Creek Church Road. And then we were talking about doing this, the water and the loop, and I'm just trying to figure out how it all fits in there and whether they even thought about it when they were doing the planning of this, because it was so new.
Commissioner Adams, I would have to ask Ms. Spiker if water was a consideration as you reviewed this.
Public water was a consideration, and based on what we were told by PwC, it was not available at this time at this location.
But in terms of what we're talking about doing, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the long term and what the end game is. I think we talked about doing the loop. There's almost like a horseshoe.
That's correct.
Right in this area, and how that fits in, how all of this fits in to that. That's and you may not know that. I mean, that's I think we need,
know.
And I think that's a breakdown, and I think we need to, that the planning staff, and like I said, y'all wouldn't have had that because we did it just at the last meeting. But I think there's a silo going on in terms of what we did for that water district, or proposed, looking forward to that water district in terms of going out there and rezoning these properties. And I think that there needs to be some synergy between all of this as we do this.
I agree. We'll work with our interim planning director, Joel Strickland, and make that a part of the staff review.
Yeah, and because I think we need to forward to them what we did, and I think that gives them some insight, in the planning board some insight. And it's not too, I mean, you just didn't know because we did it at the last committee meeting.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Fairclough.
I'd offer a motion at this time that we approve the rezoning from A1 agricultural to P40 residential and find it's consistent with the adopted South Central Land Use Plan 2015, which calls for farmland at this location. The farmland designation allows for 1 unit per acre with suitable soils for septic, and further find that approval of the request is reasonable and in the public interest because the district requested is in harmony with surrounding zoning, existing land uses, and lot sizes.
All right, you've heard the motion and the second. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you. Case P1847.
Case P1847 is a request for a rezoning of 2 acres from RR to C2P, which is a planned service and retail district. It's a conditional zoning request specifically for retailing or servicing. The subject property is located off Highway 87 and Alderman Road and is owned by C&W Properties. The Joint Planning Board unanimously recommended approval of this request and finding it consistent with the land use plan and reasonable and in the public interest. This planning staff requests, if this board's inclined to approve the request, to please make it subject to the conditions that are contained within your packet. The property owner has agreed to those.
All right. Thank you. We need to open the public hearing on P 1847. Are there speakers?
There are no speakers.
Then I'll close the public hearing.
I'll make this motion.
Thank you. Mr. Lancaster.
Case P 1847, I move to approve the rezoning of RR Rural Residential CP, C2P, CZ for retailing and service subject to the conditions within our packet and find it consistent with the adopted South Central Land Use Plan 2015, which calls for farmland at this location. The farmland designation allows some limited commercial uses that are oriented specifically for a rural community such as convenient general merchandise stores, and recommends that these uses be located at the intersection of two roads, and further find that approval of the request is reasonable in the public interest because the district requested will allow a small concentrated commercial node at this intersection to serve the needs of surrounding residents on a tract previously developed as a non-residential use.
Second.
All right, you've heard the motion and the second. Are there speakers? No, I open the public hearing.
Already did that, yeah. Just ask for discussion on the motion. All you gotta do.
Ask for what?
No, you already did the hearing.
Did I do the hearing?
You already did, yeah. All you need to do is ask.
Second, I made the motion.
You made a motion and a second.
And I say yes.
And we need to open the public hearing.
No, you already did that.
And we need to close the public hearing.
All right.
And I need to recognize Mr. Keefe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Patty, the concern I had here, it is commercial. It's surrounded by agricultural, rural land, and I know that the conditional use. I'm sure there's a designation in here, but you're going to have to help me out with a definition of convenient general merchandise stores. What is the actual definition of that?
There's not a specific definition in the land use plan or within the ordinance. However, you would just go with the common meaning, so like small scale commercial intended to serve the immediate neighborhood.
I mean, that sounds like a convenience store.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a convenience store, which is allowed in A1, but so it's unlikely the property owner would request a conditional zoning for a convenience store, because it would already be allowed in the A1, which is
okay. You
mostly in
confused
the
me. You have to
area.
go back on that one. It allows for it because it's in a farmland area, but it says it calls for farmland in this location. The farmland designation allows for some limited commercial uses that are oriented specifically for a rural community, such as convenient general merchandise stores.
It does not allow for standard retail.
Okay, so somebody doesn't want to put a boutique there, but they could put a fuel station and that's open all night in a residential area with lights and night. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, are there other questions or further discussion? I call for the motion.
Okay.
There's a motion on the floor.
We got a motion.
All in favor?
Voting in favor, Commissioners Lancaster, Faircloth, Boos, and Evans.
Oh,
voting,
me too.
And Chair Council voting in opposition, Commissioner Adams and Keefe.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4, I'm going to call on our attorney.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this is the public hearing for consideration to close the portion of Old Carver's Falls Road for which the board adopted a resolution of intent to close at its November the 5th, 2018 meeting. All the requisites necessary for you to proceed were presented. It's back up at that meeting, and I reported to you at that time that review of the GIS maps and the plat of this reflects that no parcels will be landlocked. This portion of the road is actually owned, both sides of it are owned by the same entity. The DOT information about the Board of Transportation, removing it from state maintenance was also presented at that time. Since the November the 5th meeting, your resolution of intent and notice of tonight's public hearing was advertised the 3 times required by statute. The publisher's affidavit is attached as one of the affidavits in your backup materials. The petitioner that requested this closure has filed an affidavit showing that he posted this notice of intent and the notice of the public hearing at 2 prominent places on the road. And the legal description prepared by Larry King and Associates is also attached. If the board wishes to proceed with the actual closure, you would open the public hearing and hear anyone who wishes to speak and adopt the order that is the attachment to the memo. I do know that representatives from the LLC that own the 2 parcels that are joined this and who have requested this closure are present in the audience, or present. If you would have any further questions of them at the public hearing, you could certainly call upon them. So with that said, Madam Chair, you'd open the public hearing.
All right. I'll open the public hearing on closing a portion of Old Carvers Fall Road. Are there speakers?
There are no speakers.
Then I'll close the public hearing. All right. Are there questions, discussion?
Madam Chair, this time I would move that we adopt the order of the Board of Commissioners of Cumberland County to close a portion of the Old Carvers Falls Road, State Road 2084, pursuant to General Statute 153A-241.
Second.
All right, you've heard the motion. Those in favor of the motion?
And that is unanimous.
All right. Thank you.
Number 4 is items of business. Consideration of a resolution to replace the standing committees with an agenda session meeting of the full board. Mr. Moorfield.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, Chairman Council had asked me to draft a resolution to address her idea of, as just expressed by County Manager, and her reasons for that are set out in full in the resolution that's attached to the memo. Basically, you would be doing away with the committees and just the board would be meeting. I think the time is 8:30, same time at 8:30 a.m. on the first Thursday of each month. One of the reasons this would be called as an agenda session and it would be designated for that purpose is that the only action that would be taken by the board at this session would be to discuss and consider any matter brought forward in accordance with the board's rules of procedure and to take action to either to do one of 3 things: either place the matter on the agenda of the next appropriate regular meeting as either a consent item or an item of business, or to direct staff to provide further information on the matter at the next agenda session. If the board wishes to proceed with that, you could do so by adopting the attached resolution.
Okay. Mr. Booth?
I don't know which way this is going, and I don't have any idea whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, but I'd like to thank you for stepping outside the box right off a Jump Street and trying something new.
Thank you, Mr. Booth. Mr. Keefe.
Yes, ma'am. This idea has been run around, and I see the wisdom in it. I really do. The only concern that I have is there have been times when, if you add up all 3 of the committee meetings, you could have easily 20 items on an agenda. And if I remember correctly, which I think that one of the things that staff brought up a number of times was, a lot of times when we bring these items to the board, it requires staff or outside agencies to come. And sometimes they'll bring a lot of their support staff with the committee structure we had before, they sort of knew I'd be there at 8:30 or I'd be there at 9:30. This, I mean, for Mr. Adams and Mr. Booth, this is how they do court, I think, sometimes, where they just, everybody shows up at 8:30 and you finish when you finish. But we are going to have a lot of staff and other agencies that are attending these meetings. They don't want to be late, so they may have to be waiting for hours and hours. And I personally, for me, I'm going to be there, Madam Chair, and I'm going to do the bidding that the chair asked me to do. But I am concerned if there was some way that we could maybe structure the staff so they're not waiting for hours, possibly when we address one of the issues.
Okay. I realize that this is a work in progress, and we will have to work through some issues. But as you can see, I shouldn't give you my opinion, but anyway.
You haven't stopped before in 10 years.
I know. I've been giving it all these years, haven't I? But even when we're on a committee, we don't get a chance to really fully discuss a lot. And I think that we are going to also have to use that other Thursday that we have put on hold to keep, and we use it as necessary. But to me, in my mind, for us to be a cohesive board and to work together and to be collaborate, everybody needs to hear the information at the same time. Because that was just me. If it doesn't work, Mr. Booth is going to make a motion that we kill this.
If it doesn't work.
Oh, if it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, I think we need to.
Ma'am, it's a will.
You're right.
Will of the chair. I was just trying to be a little proactive for when the agenda's going.
We're going to have to notify people. We're going to have to work with the agenda very carefully. Mr. Booth.
Yeah, and I had the same concerns too about the wait. This may, like if you needed, Jeffrey for finance at 8:30, and you needed him at around 10:30 or 11ish for facilities or something, then he might be leaving, coming, going, but can't do anything in that gap in between because it's not a set time. Now he could, the Jeffrey items, something for finance, something for facilities, could be wherever it is. You could still schedule your people around making their presentation so that people from finance and, so, because I know Jeffrey wants to get right back to work as soon as possible and not hang around at committee meetings. But, it could go, that's what I'm saying, I'm open to try things, so.
Okay. Madam Manager.
We had a staff meeting last week, and we already discussed many of these issues, and we're going to try to organize the items by topics, facilities, finance and policy, but also around the presenter so that they are lumped together and that they have the most efficient use of their time.
Okay. Thank you.
I make a motion with.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of years ago when I was chairman, I was trying to address the same problem you're trying to address, which was we often didn't have a quorum, or we would have two people making decisions for the entire board instead of at least three on the committee. So I came up with the bright idea of to try to get three people to the committee, to assign four to begin with, and that lasted a year. But it was an attempt to do what you're doing. So now we're going to hopefully support what you're trying to do, and if it doesn't work, like you said, Mike can.
Mike's going to make the motion.
Mike can get us out of it.
All right.
With Glenn, you made a motion.
To adopt the resolution.
I'll
Thank
make
you.
a second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt this resolution. Those in favor?
That is unanimous.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Item number 5, Madam Chair, are nominations.
Are we ready with nominations? There's one vacancy. The first one is Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Corporation, Mr. Booth.
That's
So that's
Adams.
Mr.
Oh,
Adams.
that's Mr. Adams.
I would nominate Larry Smalls. Larry
Yeah, we
Smalls.
confused a lot.
Larry Smalls.
Yes, he's in our packet there, one of the three.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Are there other nominations? If not, we'll go to Mid-Carol. Oh,
Madam Chair, nomination.
I'm good, Jimmy.
Mr. Keefe.
Don Broadwell.
For what? For A? Is it for A?
For economic development.
Yes.
Mr. Booth.
David Guy.
David.
Guy, G-Y.
Okay. I'm trying to write. Are there other nominations? We have 3 for item A. Okay. Item B. The Mid-Carolina Aging Advisory Council has 4 vacancies. I call for the nominations for the Mid-Carolina Aging Advisory Council. Are there nominations?
Madam Chairman, Mid Carolina Agents recommend Varnice, V-A-R-N-I-C-E, Love, Jeanette Jordan Huffman, H-U-F-F-A-M, Commissioner Pat Edwards, the Veterans Hospital Representative Audrey Kizzie, K-I-Z-Z-I-E, I think that's it, but.
Okay. Are there other nominations? If not, we'll go on to the Board of Health, which has 3 vacancies. I'll call for nominations.
Madam Chair, Board of Health recommends Cynthia MacArthur Kearney, K-E-R-N-E-Y. In the pharmacist, that's in the registered nurse's position. In the pharmacist position, Dr. Osola, O-L-U-S-O-L-A, Ojo. And for the general public, Representative Sonia, S-O-N-J-A, Council.
All right. Seeing no other nominations, we'll go to item D, the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. There are 4 vacancies.
Yes, that's, I'm the liaison, well, I'm actually the vice chair serving as chair on that one, committee. So under the persons under 18, the JCPC represents Sierra Rowe. For the juvenile defense attorney, Micah Fiala, F-I-A-L-A. The at-large representative, Dr. Antonio Jones. And if you saw up under the persons under 18, it had Dominique Ashley, who resigned. We found out she wasn't under 18. So JCPC put her up under the general spot. So for under Dr. Rosen's spot, we would nominate, which is an at-large representative, Dominique Ashley.
Okay. Thank you. Item E, the Civic Center.
Madam Chairman, I would nominate Mark Yarborough.
I was trying to nominate. Who was next? Fairclough. Mr. Fairclough.
Chair, I would nominate Ramona Moore.
And Mr. Evans, and I recognize me.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to nominate Curtis Worthy.
And I'd like to nominate Vicki Andrews, Dr. Vicki Andrews, for this position. Mr. Keefe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to nominate Lonnie Player and also Mr. Joe Quigg.
Joe Quigg, okay. Thank you, Mr. Keefe. Mr. Booth?
I'd like to nominate Jan Johnson.
Okay.
Billy Wellens. Rashad Walker. And McBride Grannis.
All right, have you finished, Mr. Booth?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Keefe?
I apologize, Madam Chair. I missed one, Mr. Rashawn Moore.
Can you spell that name, please?
Wait a minute.
Let me just put a R. R. Moore, is that what you said?
Rashawn. Rashawn Moore.
Is he on the list?
R-A-S-H-A-W-N. Moore.
Rashawn Moore, okay.
Okay.
How many is that? 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Thank you for those nominations.
Alrighty then.
Vice Chairman Fairclough, you handle the appointments for me.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was sitting here counting the people involved. Let me turn to that. I'm sorry. I should have been ready for that because I knew you were going to call on me.
I've got it if you need me to do.
Okay, that's item number for the appointments. For the Cumberland County Workforce Board, we have 4 vacancies, and for those 4 vacancies, we have 4 nominees, an equal number of nominees for the positions. For the representatives of business, we have 3. We have Mark Wilderman, who's a new appointment, Eric Buck, who's a new appointment, Philip Perrier, who is a new appointment, and for other representative, we have Dr. J. Lee Brown as a new appointment, and I would move that we accept these nominees by acclamation.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you. Closed session.
Madam Chair, move we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, discussing attorney-client matter.
Okay, I'll second that. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Welcome to Cumberland Update, your source for information about Cumberland County news and events. I'm your host, Genevieve Mankel. Are you a Cumberland County resident who has a keen interest in local government? Have you ever wondered how your tax dollars are hard at work in our community? Or do you have minimal understanding of local government and want to know more? Whatever level of knowledge you possess, the Cumberland County Citizens Academy is a great way to understand the workings of our county government. Applications for the 6-week academy are now being accepted for the upcoming session, which runs February 19th to March 26th. The academy will meet on Tuesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Each week, residents will meet at a different county facility and learn about specific department functions from county staff. Participants will learn about animal control, the Department of Social Services, the Public Health Department, the Sheriff's Office, and so much more. The Academy is free, however, participants must be residents of Cumberland County, and class size is limited and will be filled on a first-come, first-served basis. For more information, call 321-6579 or visit our website at co.cumberland.nc.us. The Cumberland County Tax Administration Office reminds residents that the deadline to pay 2018 property taxes is January 7th. Taxes paid on or after January 8th will be subject to interest charges. Payments may be made in person, by phone, or online. Payments made with a credit or debit card will be subject to a processing fee. Electronic check payments may be made online for no fee. To pay in person, go to the tax office on the 5th floor of the county courthouse at 117 Dick Street from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. To learn all about payment options or to make an online payment, go to co.cumberland.nc.us/tax. The tax office also wants to remind residents that the 2019 property tax listing period is January 1st through January 31st. Listing forms must be updated, signed, and returned or postmarked no later than January 31st to avoid a 10% late listing fee. For more information about listing, call 678-7507 or visit the Tax Administration website. The library will offer It's a Wrap, a winter reading and activity program from December 15th through January 31st. This program is a great way for readers of all ages to add fun to the winter months and win prizes. Adults, teens, and children can pick up a reading and activity log at any library branch to keep track of how long they read and library activities they attend. On January 27th, the Friends of the Library will present New York Times bestselling author and North Carolina native Wiley Cash. Cash's works include A Land More Kind Than Home, This Dark Road to Mercy, and The Last Ballad. Cash will sign copies of his books following the presentation. The program begins at 3 p.m. at Headquarters Library at 300 Maiden Lane. Learn more about these and other library events by visiting the library website at cumberland.lib.nc.us or by following the library on Facebook. Cumberland County residents who need help with their home heating costs may be able to get support through the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, also known as LEAP. Through LEAP, residents who meet certain qualifications, including income restrictions, could be eligible for a one-time vendor payment that is made directly to the utility company. During December, only households with a person 60 years old and older or a disabled individual receiving services through the Division of Aging and Adult Services may apply. These priority applications will be accepted through December 31st or until funds are exhausted. Additional households may apply after December 31st. LEAP applications are accepted at the Salvation Army office Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The Salvation Army manages the program for the Department of Social Services. For more information, contact the DSS LEAP message line at 677-2821 or the Salvation Army at 483-8119. Did you score some great deals on electronics on Black Friday? Or maybe you're giving a loved one a new gadget for Christmas. As we bring in new and updated technology into our homes, we might find that we have stacks of old and unused laptops, TVs, DVD players, cell phones, tablets, and so much more. Did you know residents can responsibly dispose of these and any other unused electronics at the Cumberland County Solid Waste Management landfill and container sites free of charge? By recycling electronics, you're diverting waste from the landfill and abiding by a state law that prohibits disposing of computer equipment, televisions, and other electronics in North Carolina landfills. For more information about solid waste landfills and container sites, to include operating hours and locations, visit co.cumberland.nc.us/solid-waste.
is Hope Monroe, and I'm the Nutrition Education Coordinator for the Cumberland County WIC program. WIC is a program that is funded by the United States Department of Agriculture. The title of the program is actually called the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children. In Cumberland County, we serve between 11 and 12,000 women, infants, and children each month. Nutrition education is really the main focus of the program, and that is our goal to provide nutrition education to the clients when they do come into the office. So the WIC program does provide supplemental foods to our clients. And so what we provide is actually determined by the United States Department of Agriculture. We provide different things such as milk, eggs, cheese, yogurt, tofu, whole grain product, fruits and vegetables, juice, and then a variety of infant foods as well. The EWIC is a program that we rolled out in North Carolina starting in March of 2018. Previously, our clients were getting what we considered to be food instruments, which were paper vouchers that they would take to the store. So now they're able to use their EWIC card when they go to the store to purchase their food items. EWIC is very simple to use. When they go to the stores, as cashier, we'll scan all of their food items, and then all they have to do is scan their WIC card. And so once they scan their WIC card, whatever items are considered to be WIC approved items will actually be deducted from their electronic benefits account. Another good thing about EWIC is that they do now have an app for EWIC. Let's say, for instance, that they're going down the aisle and they're picking up a food item and they're not exactly sure if that food item is WIC approved or not. Then they can actually scan that particular item, and on their phone they would directly know if it's a WIC approved item or not. And then they can also see what they have remaining for the current month as far as their benefits. The app will also tell them what day their benefits will end, as well as what day the new benefits will begin. WIC is a pro-breastfeeding agency, and so our main goal always is to try to give moms information about breastfeeding so that they can make the informed choice on if that is something they would like to do. We do have breastfeeding peer counselors on staff here, and they do most of the breastfeeding training, support, as far as helping the moms to make sure the babies are latching on properly. We do have a great breastfeeding peer counselor program here within our agency, and so the peer counselor program is not a mandatory program. If they would like to take advantage of, they certainly can. Provider referrals is also another mission of the WIC program, not only here in the health department, but also outside of the agency. And not only do we make referrals outside, but we also get referrals from outside as well for those that would like to try to see their clients maybe apply or try to qualify for WIC services. In order to be eligible for the WIC program, you have to either be a pregnant woman, a woman who has just recently had a baby, or a woman who is breastfeeding an infant less than 12 months of age, as well as infants and children up to the age of 5. Other requirements for eligibility that have to be met is that you have to reside in the state of North Carolina. Your income has to be less than 185% of the poverty level. In terms of eligibility, you also have to be nutritionally eligible for the program, and that is determined once you come into the WIC office, and the nutritionist is the one that certifies someone for the program. Most of the clients that we do have scheduled appointments, but we do accept walk-ins. So as long as you have all of your information that you need to be eligible for the program, we will see you when you walk through the doors. We do have 3 offices here in Cumberland County. The main office is at the Department of Public Health, 1235 Ramsey Street. We also have an office in Hope Mills, which is located at 2622 Hope Mills Road. And then we have an office in Spring Lake at the Family Resource Center, which is located at 103 Lake Tree Boulevard. WIC is here. We are ready and able and willing to provide services to anyone in the community. If you have any questions about the WIC program, please don't hesitate to give us a call, and we look forward to seeing you come into our office.
Wanda Bell, and I am 109 days smoke-free. I originally started smoking in grade school. I quit from that in 2007, so I smoked for a long period of time. Then again in 2012, I started back. And so that's the demon I'm fighting now, to quit smoking again for the rest of my life. Since 2012, I have tried to quit maybe 4 or 5 times unsuccessfully. And there was this one particular afternoon, I was driving, I was coming down Ramsey, and I was in prayer, and I was talking to God, and when I refocused, the first thing I saw was the marquee out in front of the health department advertising the smoker cessation classes. I just whipped a U-turn, and I've come in and I asked them on the first floor, where do I sign up? How do I do this? I used the smoker cessation classes in conjunction with the North Carolina Quit Line. So I think they kind of work together because they both, I was here in the class and then I received calls from them, and the Quit Line suggested that in times of crisis when I thought I would pick up again, that I called them. So it was a combination. I feel healthier. I feel like, I can walk further. I don't get de-winded as quick as I used to. I feel good. And my advice would be to someone wanting to not smoke, you deserve to not smoke. That's my advice. You deserve to not smoke.
If you want to quit tobacco, the Cumberland County Department of Public Health is here to help you. We offer Fresh Start smoking cessation classes, the CEASE program for parents and caregivers who want to quit, and we can connect you with services provided through Quitline NC and smokefree.gov. For more information about these services, call us at 910-433-3600 or visit the Health Department website at co.cumberland.nc.us/health. You don't have to quit alone. We're here to help.
Are you searching for employment skills, a career, or qualified employees? Whatever you're looking for, the Cumberland County NC Works Career Center is the right place and it's the right time.
We offer assistance with training. We offer job search assistance. We offer workshops that we have here on a daily basis.
What we are all trying to do here with the center is create an atmosphere where customers, both job seekers and businesses, can come in and access a number of services basically geared towards connecting both that job seeker and the business more efficiently, more effectively.
Every business wants to know whether we can deliver the workforce that they need to be able to grow their business. The best workforce programs are programs that are led by business. Those are the programs that have the highest buy-in, as well as the programs that have the best outcomes for folks that participate.
One of the priorities of every community is to improve quality of life and quality of place. And employment is probably the first thing that is needed for an individual to be able to improve their quality of life. But if you're not employed and you don't have a meaningful income, then your quality of life is going to be diminished. And so that puts the Workforce Development Board and the center at the center of providing individuals the means with which to improve their own lives and to realize their life goals.
The Cumberland County NC Works Career Center, under the direction of the Cumberland County Workforce Development Board, offers many services and resources for anyone looking for a job, whether they're changing careers, were laid off, are an entry-level worker, or a seasoned workforce professional.
We have individuals that walk in our doors with doctorate degrees, bachelor's degrees, associates, some high school diploma, and we also serve those who do not have a credential. So we see a very diverse group.
We can help young adults who are 14 to 24 years old, students, veterans, older workers, workers with disabilities, and former offenders.
Because the people that we work with that come through our front doors are committed to making a change in their life. They're not somebody that's looking for a free ride or something like that. And very often there's studies that show that if you give those individuals a chance, they'll bend over backwards for that employer to prove to them that giving them that chance was worth it.
The Cumberland County NC Works Career Center provides job seekers the tools and services they need to succeed.
This services help connect them to a world of work where they can gain real hands-on experience and to connect and build their soft skills to help market themselves. So employers can see that they are a value add, that they bring skill set to our economy, that they help advance the needs that fill gaps that our employers have.
As a job seeker, you want to expose yourself to numerous operations, numerous possibilities for work. Yes, you can go online now and use job search tools that are out there. Yes, you can find other agencies and groups that do job placement and career assistance. But to find a place like the Career Center where all those type services are merged into one and give you the most bang for your buck, you're not going to find that in the open market until you come here.
The Career Center can assist job seekers with career exploration services, such as assessments and job skills analysis, career coaching and guidance, real-time labor market information and trends, and career pathways.
And career pathways themselves are educational routes that people can follow to gain the skills needed to become much more focused on the jobs that they're looking to get and to allow upward mobility in those specific professions.
Job seekers can also receive access to training, education, and internship opportunities for eligible individuals.
Work experience programs within business and industry within the community to where they can get real life work experience on the job and develop their soft skills, develop their hard skills as well around certain career passions that they would want to do as maybe a long-term goal. Educate the workforce of tomorrow, and we hope that those students are going to actually not just learn here, but they'll earn here.
Job search assistance services at the NC Works Career Center include resume and cover letter preparation and enhancement, as well as computer access to search for job postings and submit online applications.
Now, there are lots of other websites, but I kind of vouch for the ncworks.gov website because it is pretty handy and it's easy to use. It has a lot of good characteristics in there that a person can use to not just only look for jobs, but create resumes, do assessments, and find out a lot of other information through links to other websites to help them get that job that they're looking for.
The Career Center also offers workshops to develop and enhance work readiness skills.
We have workshops on resume writing and cover letter development, interviewing skills, conflict resolution, customer service. We have a workshop on ex-offender, going back into the workforce. And we have a workshop on networking, how to really network. And we've just developed a new one on portfolio development.
Additionally, the NC Works Career Center has access to many partner agencies.
The NC Works Network is a very collaborative effort, and they have lots of partners that come around them to see communities go forward.
The bottom line is, wherever you are in life and your search for employment, the NC Works Career Center will put you on the right path to results.
Let me encourage you to come into the NC Works Career Center here, where we provide that one-on-one personal service, where you can get a one-on-one career advisor, a mentor to help you navigate through the cares of life, to help you connect to education, to help you know that there are employers here that are interested in you and the skills that you have.
The Cumberland County NC Works Career Center is not only beneficial for job seekers, but employers as well. There is a myriad of services available to help businesses find the right people for the right jobs. Local businesses can take advantage of services including job applicant screening and qualified candidate referrals.
If that employer can take advantage of all of the services that we provide, the tax credits, the bonding programs, if you need an employer handbook, we'll help you with that. Just little things that make your business grow, we help you with that, and they're not aware of it.
So when employers are thinking about coming to our area, they want to know that they have a skilled workforce, and that's what we're here to do, is to prepare these individuals for those types of opportunities. NC Works Online is a wonderful tool to help employers with recruitment and screening applicants for employment.
The pre-screening that the workforce offers is tremendous. They do a fantastic job of going through to make sure that we do get quality individuals. If they're coming here seeking employment, there's a lot of time invested in both parties. We have to fine-tune it, and they make sure that their qualifications are close to what we're looking for. It's a wonderful program for any employer that is looking for quality employees.
At the Career Center, businesses also have access to employee training and on-the-job training resources, as well as information on tax credits and federal bonding.
We also offer employers work opportunity tax credits so that they can hire some of those individuals with barriers to employment to make them more marketable for the workforce. We also have our on-the-job training program and the work experience program, which is giving our customers who may lack the required skills an opportunity to get in the door with an employer so that they can gain those skills and, of course, hopefully be retained by that employer.
Businesses also can get real-time labor market information and trends at the Career Center.
Well, anytime that we are looking to recruit new industry to the state or to retain our existing industry, one of the #1 concerns is the talent. And so in collaboration with our partners, we're able to ensure that we're able to recruit, screen, and to train, educate the workforce.
The Career Center even provides employers with rooms and Career Center staff assistance for hiring events and interviews. And if needed, layoff and closure prevention services are available.
From a business standpoint, I can go out and list with different online services and things of that nature. It's a tool for me, yes, but as far as a local connection where I know I can reach out and talk with a staff member about my needs, and they know what I need and they know what I want, that gives me a better ability for them to connect that labor that I am desperately seeking much quicker in many ways than I can with an online source. I can minimize my time spent and still effectively get my job placed.
You can come into an entry-level position, but you can move yourself up. And so we're not looking for a temporary fix as far as a part-time employment, and although sometimes that can be beneficial, we're looking for something that is for long-term growth and that they can move into a viable career that will eventually or could eventually turn into something more lucrative.
Businesses can register today at NC Works Online, North Carolina's official job search portal that helps connect talented individuals to employers.
That's one of my primary goals, to make sure that we're delivering all the potential value we can to businesses that are interested in North Carolina.
So if we can get the skilled workers to the employers who are looking for specific needs and get those needs met, then that would increase their productivity, it would increase their profitability, and in turn, that would promote the economic development of our community. So currently, the Workforce Board's vision is to have integrated services, a one-stop center, so that people can come to one place and get all their needs met. And I think one of the biggest goals of the board is to make the community aware of what is available.
Workforce development is economic development. So we've got to have the workforce, we've got to have the trained and skilled talent so that they can walk into the businesses that come here in order to make those businesses successful.
I feel like that if they're lost and they just don't know where to go, that this would be a good place for them to start, a safe haven for being able to find folks that would be encouraging to them to look at what is inside them, their strengths, and what can they build on to possibly make a career in the future for them.
It benefits the person who's looking for a job because they get the training that they need. It benefits the employer because they find the person that fits their needs.
The Cumberland County NC Works Career Center, your first step in career and business management.